Rome was a circuit that originally debuted in Gran Turismo 2 and reappeared in Gran Turismo 3 and 4. However, when Gran Turismo 5 was released, we discovered that the Rome circuit had been completely redesigned. It was a brand new course, although I believe the old course and the new course practically touch one another at one point, so they're pretty much right next to each other. Anyway, one of my subscribers by the name of Stefan recently visited Rome in real life and kindly offered to take some photos and videos of the route that the circuit takes in Gran Turismo 5. So in this video we're going to compare Stefan's real life footage with some in-game footage that I've captured using the Gran Turismo 5 Master Mod, specifically the free cam that comes as part of it. So I hope you enjoy the video. Let's take a lap of Rome to re-familiarise ourselves with the circuit's layout. Onto the start-finish straight and we head towards the Colosseum, which dominates the skyline. We go around an initial left-hander before braking hard into a double right-hander, going around the Colosseum. Then we go around another left-hander onto a short straight. Braking hard into a hairpin corner that turns right, onto another short straight. Dropping down the hill now into a tricky braking zone for this next right turn. Then we have another longer right-hand turn before heading left. Then we're into the final two right-hand turns. And then back onto the start-finish straight to complete the lap. Okay, let's start at the start. Where else? On the main straight to be exact. And here's some footage from Stefan. We're right at the bottom of the main street here, just after the final corner. We can swing right around to see the Colosseum ahead of us. And here is the same spot in the game. The building you can see here is the Victor Emmanuel II monument. We'll get a better look at that later when we discuss the final corners. Of course, we can see the Colosseum ahead of us again. The next video from Stefan sees us walking up the Via dei Fori Imperiali, the name of the actual road here. The large building on the right is the Basilica of Maxentius, which dates back to the 3rd century AD. Of course, this building was modelled in GT5, so here is me attempting to walk the same route as Stefan did in real life, along the Via dei Fori Imperiali. The next video from Stefan is further up and shows the left side of the road. There's a fountain on the left here by the name of Fontana di Nicione, according to Google Maps. And as we walk to the end of the start-finish straight, we're ready to take a closer look at arguably the most famous structure in the city, the Colosseum. It's the largest ancient amphitheatre ever built, and is the largest standing amphitheatre in the world. It dates back to the 1st century AD. Here's another shot from Stefan. We're starting to go around the Colosseum now. We can see past it to the streets ahead. And in the game, once we sweep around from the end of the main straight to the road ahead, we can see that the circuit goes around to the right, which is officially turn 2, if you count the first slight left-hander as the first corner, that is. Here's another view from further around the Colosseum after the double apex corner of turn 2, looking towards turn 3. Which is the left-hander that leads onto the short straight. The arch you can see next to the Colosseum is the Arch of Constantine, which was built in the 3rd century AD. Stefan also gave us a shot from a similar place, which looks back towards turn 2 rather than looking ahead to turn 3. And Stefan also sent another shot from further away on the other side of the road. Again, I've done my best to try to replicate this in the game. Stefan also sent some great footage from inside the Colosseum, something that I would personally love to do as well. However, it probably comes as no surprise that the inside of the Colosseum wasn't modelled for the game, so there's not much to show here in GT5. Here we are at Turn 2. In real life Rome, this is a crossroads, but in the game we follow the road around to the Colosseum, which leads us to the left-hander of Turn 3. The circuit is largely an anti-clockwise track with loads of right turns and only a few lefts. And this is partway around Turn 2, kind of between the two apexes that make up the corner. And we keep going towards the traffic over there. In this clip we can actually see the traffic moving rather than it standing still. The traffic is actually going against the way that we drive the circuit, almost as if they're racing around a Rome reverse. Stefan also sent another shot of the Arch of Constantine, which is just where Turn 3 is. It's definitely in the game, but it's a bit harder to see as it's somewhat obscured by signs and trees. Now we're actually at Turn 3, looking back towards Turn 2, with the Colosseum and the Arch of Constantine in view. As you can see, there's also another massive crane in front of the arch in the game. Stefan also gave us a lovely sweeping shot from Turn 2 to Turn 3, and you can see Turn 3 really well here. Turn 3 takes us from one street to another, from the Via Celio Vibena to the Via di San Gregorio. And in this shot we can see right down the Via di San Gregorio. On the right side we can see the Acquedotto di Neroni, which we'll take a better look at soon. In English I think this just translates to the Aqueduct of Nero. Back in the game we can see how the circuit goes to the right ahead. In real life the road carries on straight as well, past the confines of the circuit. Another shot here from Stefan, slightly further down the road. Again we can see the Nero Aqueduct on the right. This was an aqueduct, of course, built by Nero in the 1st century AD. It was built as a branch of the Claudius Aqueduct to feed the Domus Aurea, his sumptuous residence. It was extended by Domitian to supply his palace on Palatine Hill. The arches still visible here are a result of the restorations commissioned by Septimius Severus in the 3rd century. With the aqueduct being so close to the circuit in the game, it is of course modelled and is very much visible as a landmark. Another landmark on this stretch of road is the Portale de Vignola. It dates back to the 16th century and was designed as an entrance to the gardens behind it. These gardens, or the Horti Farnesiani, were built on land purchased by Cardinal Alessandro Farnese. Vignola was entrusted to develop both the gardens and the entrance. Here we are at Turn 4, the hairpin which leads from the Via di San Gregorio to the Via dei Cerchi. There's a building on the right which is just out of shot in Stefan's footage, and it's called the Casina del Vignola Boccapaduli. This was also built by the architect Vignola in 1520 and was used as a holiday home basically. And now we're onto the back straight. What you can see on the right there are the remains of palaces on Palatine Hill. As far as I can tell, at least from researching online. The one on the far right is Domus Severiana. According to Google Maps, the ruin that's closest to the road here is the Terme di Massenzio. Of course, we can see this in the game too. Stefan also sent us some footage of what lies on the other side of the back straight, or the Via dei Cerchi. This is the Circus Maximus, the ruins of a huge ancient Roman racecourse. This exists in Gran Turismo 5 as well. Here we are in real life Rome, following the back straight of the circuit, looking out onto the Circus Maximus. And of course, I've tried to recreate this shot in the game as best as I can. Here's a look at the road itself. This is a shot that's looking back towards turn 4, which then spins 180 degrees and looks towards the corner at the bottom of the back straight. And here is the matching footage from in-game. Speaking of the corner at the bottom of the back straight, that's where we'll be moving on to next. And here it is. We're looking from the end of the back straight towards turn 5. This is where the Via dei Cerchi meets the Piazza della Bocca della Verità, and that's where the circuit goes next. You can see what it looks like in the game as well. The temple-like building you can see on the left side is the Temple of Portunus, a Roman temple dating all the way back to the 3rd and 4th centuries BC. And here's some more footage of turn 5 from Stefan. You may have just caught that circular building on the left when the footage began, which you can also see in the game. This is the Temple of Hercules Victor, another Roman temple which is surrounded by white marble Corinthian columns. One more shot of this area from Stefan and the accompanying game footage from me. From here we look towards the Via del Teatro di Marcello, which is the next section of the road which the circuit uses. Here's one last look at turn 5. This time Stefan is beyond the corner looking back towards it. The tower you can see at the start of the footage is the Basilica di Santa Maria in Cosmedin. This is a Catholic church complete with its Romanesque tower, which dates back to the 8th century AD. Past the Temple of Portunus, there is also a landmark called the Casa dei Crescenzi. In the game, it's located just to the left of the Gran Turismo banners. It is a rare example of an aristocratic residence built between the 11th and 12th centuries, and the oldest identifiable post-antiquity house still remaining in Rome. And here we are making our way from turn 5 to turn 6. Turn 6 is a fast right-hander that leads us towards the circuit's final corners. On the left side of the road here is this building, which has a look of the Colosseum about it. It's the Teatro di Marcello, a Roman theatre started by Julius Caesar, which actually predates the Colosseum. To the left of that, you might have seen a church-like building, which is the San Nicola in Carcere. It's a traditional church in Rome. Apparently, inside the church you can take some stairs down to see yet more Roman ruins underneath. Now we walk from turn 6 to turn 7. We're still on the Via del Teatro di Marcello, and the vast white building ahead of us is the one that we saw at the beginning of the lap. It's the monument to Victor Emmanuel II, seen here from the other side of course. Of course we can recreate Stefan's footage once again in Gran Turismo 5. Also, that big set of stairs before the monument lead up to the Santa Maria in Aracioeli Basilica, a 13th century church featuring vibrant frescoes. And here's a closer look at turn 7 in real life, a left-hander that leads us onto two right-handers that go right around the monument and back to the start-finish straight. The monument to Victor Emmanuel II is another really dominating building in Rome's skyline. Stefan sent me some more footage of it and it looks absolutely biblical. Looks like you had some great weather while you were there. Here's some footage from Stefan of turn 8. We're looking back from near turn 8 to turn 7. We can see how turns 7, 8 and 9 all sweep around the perimeter of the monument and then head back to the main straight. And we can see a close approximation of Stefan's clip in the game. I had to film some clips like this one and also the next one, a bit higher up, as in the game there are all these fences around. So if you're trying to film at ground level, they just tend to get in the way really. Okay, next we're in between turn 8 and turn 9. There's a very short straight in between the two final corners, which is essentially the entrance to the monument. And here we are back in the game again. You can see turn 8 on the right, the monument in the middle, and we can see turn 9 on the left. And last of all, Stefan sent us some shots of the bottom of the main straight, just after the exit of turn 9. And that's it, a full lap of GT5's Rome circuit in real life and in Gran Turismo 5. Thank you so much to Stefan for the footage, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.